With each paddle stroke, you become closer and closer to the lip of the waterfall until finally you are free falling, flying through the air with nothing but the wind, water, and yourself. Until you land. When you land, it isn't like a crash, but rather it's like your bucket is full again. You are filled with joy, exhilaration, and a love of life. This is whitewater kayaking. Whitewater kayaking is one of the best sports known to man. It is a great sport for nature lovers, adrenaline junkies, adventure seekers, and workout enthusiasts. Anyone and everyone will love whitewater kayaking. But the important thing to remember in whitewater kayaking is the 5 essential pieces of gear. These pieces of gear will ensure that you have a much safer and better day on the river. To start off, we can use the acronym KPPSH. KPPSH. K for kayak, P for paddle, P for PFD, S for skirt, and H for helmet. The first thing you need to do when you go whitewater kayaking, or when you get into it, is to pick a kayak. Picking a kayak can seem like a daunting task, but it is actually pretty simple. All kayaks have very similar makeups. There's a front, which is called a bow, and a back, which is called a stern. There are thigh braces, which lock your knees in place and provide stability. Foot block, which give your feet something to rest against, also providing stability. And a back band, which supports your back, helping you sit up more upright and allowing more core rotation. This helps to prevent shoulder and arm injuries. There are 5 different categories of kayaks: slalom kayaks, creek boats, freestyle kayaks, river running boats, and slicey boats. The 2 we're going to concern ourselves with are freestyle boats and creek boats. Both of these are great boats for beginners. Creek boats are large and used to maneuver down rivers. They are used from beginners to experts, and there is a really wide variety in brand and style of creek boats. Freestyle boats are used to perform maneuvers on one wave or one river feature. They're small and easy to maneuver. For beginners, most people either focus on learning to go down a river or learning to do tricks on a wave. If you want to learn to do tricks on a wave, a great boat to start out in is the Jackson Kayak Fun. It's a great boat. And if you would prefer running a river, the Dagger Mamba is an awesome boat. I started in that one, and it's one of my favorite boats to this day. The second letter in the acronym is P for paddle. Your paddle is a crucial part of your kayaking experience. And there are many different types of paddles made out of 3 different materials: carbon fiber, fiberglass, and plastic. Plastic is the cheapest option. However, it does have the most flex in its blade, which means that you get the least amount of power with each paddle stroke you take. Fiberglass lies somewhere in the middle of plastic and carbon fiber. It has less flex than plastic. It is less flex than plastic, but more flex than carbon fiber, and it is heavier than carbon fiber. It is also more expensive than plastic, but less expensive than carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is the most expensive paddle, it is the lightest, and has the least amount of flex. However, it can break more easily than either of the other 2. Another thing to consider when picking a paddle is the offset of your paddle blade. This is the angle difference between the 2 paddles. Most paddles are at around a 30-degree offset. However, when starting out, using a 0-degree offset can be helpful because there is less to think about, and you do not have to think about rotating your body. As you progress in kayaking, moving to an offset paddle can help increase the amount of power in your strokes, helping you to go faster and maneuver more quickly. When picking a paddle to start, using a plastic paddle with a 0-degree offset is a good option. The next thing to consider is your personal flotation device, your PFD, also known as a life jacket. Always use a whitewater specific PFD because they allow you to maneuver more easily, increase mobility, and are less bulky than regular PFDs. The important thing to consider when picking a PFD is rescue versus non-rescue. Beginners should always start with a non-rescue PFD. The rescue PFDs have many safety features that allow you to pull a boat or rescue a person. However, those features can be dangerous if you do not know what you are doing or do not feel comfortable using them. The next and second to last letter in our acronym is skirt. A whitewater kayaking skirt covers the cockpit of the kayak and prevents water from going into it. This is important because in the case that you do flip over, you then have time to upright yourself. These skirts are made out of neoprene and have a band around the outside that is a rand. When picking a skirt for the first time, the only important thing to consider is the measurement around the outside of your kayak. There are many guides online, and the people in the stores can help you pick one that is appropriate for your kayak. The final piece of equipment that is essential is your helmet. It is really important to have a well-fitting helmet that covers your head and your ears. You only have one brain, it's really important to protect. There are a wide variety of helmets and all of them are awesome. Sweet Protection and WRSI have great helmets. I love kayaking so much, and these 5 pieces of gear help me to have more fun on the river. So remember, kapush, and try out kayaking.